founder of TheAfricanDream LLC. It's a multi-platform media entity, and we basically share and tell the stories of Africa and Africans who are born and off the continent. And I heard about Blogger Week about almost 2 years ago, and I have always wanted to be a part of this amazing gathering. So it's really a privilege for me to be here today, and I'd like to say thank you to Jessica and all the organizers that threw me an invite and made sure that I was here to tell my story and also to learn from all of you who are here to share stories. Google as an all-inclusive tool for social media engagement and positive awareness creation for and about Africa and Africans. Now, Africa is really out there when we talk about using Google. A lot of people on the continent are highly mobile and they get a lot of information, they do a lot of their research, and they basically use Google as often as they can, more than I think folks in developed countries, because Africans feel like, they do not really have easy access to information like those of us out there in the developed world do. And so whatever opportunity they have to get more information and to also share information as well, they take advantage of it. So when Google came out as a tool, Africans really embraced it, and those Africans over the continent have used Google for a bunch of amazing things that you really would be surprised when you find out about. There's one website that I'll encourage you guys to check out. It's africaconnected.com. Google actually established that website, and they're using it to tell the amazing stories of Africans, especially on the continent, that are using Google to touch lives in positive ways. Google as a tool is to basically, they're trying to reduce access as a barrier to all potential users. If some of you here might be aware, if you're not, Google initially embarked on a project that they called the Balloon, where they were trying to increase internet penetration. But the Google Loon project was not very successful. What Google had in mind was to create a Wi-Fi and sort of like a balloon and let it out there into the air. So wherever it hovers over, people can have access to internet. It was not really successful, and so that project was pulled off. They are actually researching and working on a new project where they are calling it solar drones. If you research it, you will discover more about it. It's not really out there. I see someone nodding their head, they know about the solar drones. So what they're basically going to do is to put the Wi-Fi on drones and let them out there. And these drones are going to be solar powered, so they're going to be like hovering. So I'm one of the many Africans who are praying that that actually becomes a success story, because Africans having access to internet is really a big deal. Like the speaker before me said, so it's quite interesting. But that is one of the ways Google is trying to get people more into social media across the African continent. One of the other ways they're using is to make the internet relevant and useful to Africans. Now, I've been a major beneficiary of that, in the sense that when I started TheAfricanDream LLC, I realized there was not a lot of efforts placed into telling the African story authentically, and I realized that it was a prominent feature when it comes to people outside Africa, media institutions and individuals outside Africa trying to tell the African story. There wasn't a lot of efforts and emphasis placed on making sure that whatever it is that you're putting out there truly represents the continent. It's sort of like everyone was in a haste to get the story out there about Africa, but they weren't trying to invest the time and effort to do their research and make sure that whatever it is that is being put out there is the right thing. And I was thinking to myself, how can we fix this? And it came to mind, why don't you go out there and do it on your own? You know, like you can wait for black Jesus to come from heaven and die on the cross for you, or you can be your own black Jesus and go out there and die on your own cross, so other people can, you know, be saved. So that's what I started to do. I went out there and I started looking for ways to tell my story, the African story, the story of other people who are out there on the continent that have not been told, or that have not been told properly. And Google became a very powerful tool for me. One of the immediate ways I use Google is Google Hangouts, for instance, where, you know, I would call potential interview candidates and say, hey, do you have a Gmail account? They're like, yeah. Then you have the Hangout. They're like, what the heck is a Hangout? I'm like, it's a video, you know, conversation thing where you can chat in real life and capture it on camera. And some of these people didn't know about it. Others, they already were ahead of the game, so they knew about Hangouts. So we'll schedule a time and people will come online and I'll call them, check out the video, test it, and once we realize we have a good, at least picture and sound quality, we just get it on and go and do the interview. I still do this, and I've done some pretty amazing interviews with people back on the continent. For let's go to Ghana, for instance, which is where I'm from. I interviewed this young gentleman called Rexford and Cancer. Now, Rexford is like an evil genius. He's a very smart kid, and he has been able to fly around the world at the expense of the internet. Literally, he's been able to cover conferences and doing tech-related things for clients, and he's really passionate about Wikipedia. And one of the reasons for his passion for Wikipedia is that he feels like there's not been enough representation of the black continent and the black story on Wikipedia. And Rexford made it his own responsibility to go out there and raise awareness and get people interested about putting more information about the Africans on Wikipedia, and it became a movement. And he has been able to establish where, you know, a group of Wikipedia editors from Ghana come together to create and make edits about Africa-related, you know, stories, individual situations, and content. And you realize that a lot of journalists, a lot of people just looking for information about some of these subjects go on there and they see these materials and they use them. And it's kind of interesting how, you know, a single individual on their own can go out there and make a huge impact, you know, just by being motivated, self-motivated, and realizing that they also have the power to create change through the internet. And another way people are using Google back home is to just like Google Maps, for instance. There's this young African who wanted to start a business. He wanted to go back. He felt like he had gathered enough experience, learned a lot, and he wanted to take it back home to the continent where he can share his experience and help people, you know, rise, you know, out from poverty and make, you know, a good living for themselves. So what we did was to just relocate, go back home, and start looking for business opportunities. He realized that there were a lot of people that were driving cabs, you know, a lot of cab drivers, and people really wanted to get into the cab driving thing. So what this guy decided to do was to apply for loans for these potential drivers who did not have cars, so they could actually buy cars with loans and then begin the business of cab driving. We run into a stumbling block, which was the banks did not feel comfortable, and also they were like, how can we trust them with our loans? If they get the cars, how do we know they're going to do with it what it is they are saying they're going to do with it? So this guy goes online and he searches and searches, and he comes upon a company out there somewhere in Europe that has this GPS devices that they could put on these cars that these guys get from the bank and buy, you know, they get loans from the bank to buy, and then fit it onto these cars, and you can literally tell wherever the car is at any moment in time by going to Google Maps and installing the software, and you can even have that software on your phone as an app, and be able to tell exactly where the car is. And so he went back to the bank with this discovery that he can do, and he was like, come on guys, I have this, and we can literally tell where the car is if you give these guys money, as loans to buy the cars. And the bank was like, we can work with something like this. And through his efforts, a lot of young people out there are driving these cabs, and they are helping to make livelihoods to feed their families, and they are becoming positive examples and creating positive changes in their societies. And because they've been praying for opportunities like this and never expected it to hit them in the way it hit them, they are giving off their best and putting their hearts into what they do, and so they are becoming like call them soul winners. But people prefer to go for rides in this guy's cab, than in someone else's cab, because they're like, this guy is really working his butt up, and he's doing hard work and genuine work. How did all this become possible? Because someone out there went online and decided to use Google as a device to search for opportunities, and this became one of the possibilities for them. Now, for me personally, when I started working on the African Dream, a lot of my friends were like, but you've been working for people all your life, like back home in Ghana, and you came out here to the States. But yeah, it kept me thinking, because I was like, am I going to sit down and wait to get to this point where I'm stuck right there between the devil and the deep blue sea and not be able to decide for myself what to do? That's when I started working harder and harder on the African Dream, because I felt like it will get to a point where I should be able to put out my portfolio or my resume out there and have some work done to defend my reason for wanting to start a business. And so while I was doing this thing for the Voice of America, I was also selling myself through my work. I was looking online, I was searching people who were doing amazing things.
You went out for this. You went out for this. You went out for this world. You went out for this. You went out for this world. Yeah. She that kind of girl, would it have your back? Independent girl with her own swag.
And these people were nice enough to allow me to help share their stories. And after doing that for like almost 4.5 years, I have been able to build myself a very good resume. And so when I established my business, which I got registered in Virginia just not more than a year ago, it was amazing. I thought I was going to take probably, that was what I did myself. Like, I need about 3 or 4 years to get to that place where I can have really big buck clients coming in to say, hey, do this for us, or take this contract or work on it. But amazingly, it didn't take me more than a year, which I feel is an act of God, because it's not easy to start a business and even tell yourself when you look at the image you see in your bathroom mirror that, dude, you're going to take probably 5 or 6 years to get there, so just take it easy and work hard. After 9 months of doing this, some of my clients include Dr. Thomas Spencer. Dr. Thomas Spencer is a member of the National Academy of Inventors. He's a scientist, he's an engineer. He has been able to earn himself patents in nanotechnology, and it's amazing if I tell you. I don't know, but there's a whole lot of others. There's someone who I can't mention that works at the Embassy of Ghana in Washington, D.C. that I'm doing stuff for. And all this is happening because Google, introduced Africans to a way where we could actually take advantage of all the resources and the possibilities it has, to make lives better, not only for themselves, but for people out there who, are struggling to make a living for themselves. Our earlier speaker made a lot of amazing revelations about Twitter and social media. Some of these things are, there are gold mines out there, and the best way we can get the gold out there is to put in that effort. sweat a little bit, work harder, be genuine, be authentic, and don't be afraid to put your ego on the side, because sometimes to get up, you really must go deep down. See yourself as a seed. The seed is put into the ground, trampled upon, and as it begins to germinate, it has to fight with weeds, it has to fight with goats. Well, you don't have goats. It has to compete for existence, and it's not easy, but it's not impossible. It's totally not impossible. And social media is a gold mine if you know the right tools with which to mine and how to mine. You go out there, and even though you do backbreaking work, you will not fail if you have a vision ahead of you. I feel like we live in the most amazing age in the history of the world, irrespective of where you're coming from. Whether you're African, American, or Latino, or whatever Asian, these are very amazing times where the human being has the ability to change the course of history in a single click of a button. So do not see yourself as a non-entity. Because a lot of Africans out there are standing up and realizing that we can actually do it. And thanks to Google, we have all these resources to take advantage of to make things better. And they're actually going out there and they're seeing their futures right in front of them, and they're fighting hard to claim it. And I just want to say a big thanks to everyone out here who came today to be a part of this gathering. It's been a great learning experience for me personally. I'm on Twitter as Ofori, Oralofori, @Ofori, and it's not hard to find me. If you hashtag TheAfricanDream LLC, you find probably half of everything that I've done in life out there. The other half I'm keeping to myself and my family. There's a gem out there for every single one of us. We just need to find it, know how to find it, and once we find it, know how to make it work for us. Once it works for us, go out there and make it work for other people. Teach them how to make it work for them too. That's how you grow in life. And that's how a lot of Africans are growing out there on the continent. They are making things happen, and once they realize and discover how to make it happen, they teach others to make it happen for themselves too. And that's how we rise as a people. It's as simple as that, but it requires a lot of hard work. Thanks again, Bob. This has been a lot.
Can y'all show them just a little bit more love? This is definitely an all-inclusive tool for social media engagement. Thank you so much, Oral, for your knowledge on that topic. At this time, we are going to break for our
Make I show you how I do run now. Miniano, baby girl, Miniano. Miniano, share you. Miniano, baby girl, Miniano. Miniano, share you. The things I could do, you could run away. Axe down the beats, I know the door. Call me man of steel, I gotta carry you. Yeah, share you. I see her for the club. She the boogie to my song. She no say boys make wild, cause the way she the drop on for the dance floor. See that walk, she the walk. She no say me, so way I want. Nah, no be so way I want. Lie, so way I want. Miniano, baby girl, Miniano. Miniano, share you.